I love that music. Hi,
There's
everybody. Welcome to Power Hour. And we are so excited today. My partner is not with us today, Veronica. We're hoping you're feeling better and we'll see you next week. But I have a special guest with me today. He's a clinical nutritionist. He's one of our favorite people. He's also an author, Robert Ferguson, and he's going to share with us a lot of the answers. We're going to be talking about omega 3s today, and we're also going to be talking about some metabolic health and flexibility score and a few other things. And I'm sure you're going to have lots of questions, so make sure that you send me your questions so that we can take advantage. And Robert, you are amazing. I love you. I watched one of your lives last year and it hit my hot button when it came to our cell membrane fluidity. And it puts a big smile on my face every time I say that, because what a difference that makes. So welcome to the show today, and let's go ahead and get started. This is going to be
All
exciting.
right. Well, thank you for letting me sit in the hot seat of the one and only Miss Veronica, who is being missed. We look forward to your return, Veronica. But I was excited to be able to be here today to sit next to you. I feel like it's almost like The View or some one of those shows where one of the key people aren't there, and I'm sitting in for them.
I love it. I love it. You're my co-host today. Yay.
Amen. And I would tell people, hey, for those who have questions, anything, all things that pertain to weight loss, improving overall health, dealing with the struggles of improving health, then this is a good time. Throw it our way. And I look forward to giving feedback if I believe it's good feedback. Meaning, I'm not going to share with you answers that I don't feel confident about. And
I love that
today,
about you. I love that about you. You're so great at that, and you have the answers. That's what is even more exciting.
well, certain things, right? Some things I come to you for the answers.
That's okay too.
Well, I wanted today to take some time and actually talk about the five, and I came up with five. I really thought about this. The five biggest reasons why omega-3 supplements don't work, or what they go rancid, Renee.
Right.
And based on all of the data says that every person that's around your age, 1 out of every 5 of those people, they're taking some type of omega-3 supplement. So that means millions of dollars being spent taking a fish oil, an omega-3 supplement. And unfortunately, we know the data says that 99% of the people who are tested taking the supplement that they're taking, they're wasting their money.
I know, and that's so sad to think that you invest in a supplement or you invest in these things that you feel are going to make a difference for your health, and then all of a sudden you find out they make no difference at all.
None. And most people will never know that it made no difference. But I'll kick off and just kind of share with you, and you've heard me share this about my own mom.
Right.
So my mom, bless her heart, she was taking a product called Omega XL. And she was spending $90 every month. And she's on a fixed income. So $90, I mean, you got to be pretty serious. Now, she's serious because she had 3 stents placed in her heart, her arteries, and she wants to live. So her doctor said, you should take a good omega-3. And she's like, well, what kind of omega-3? She says, Omega XL. That'd be a good one because it's popular.
Right.
So 4 years, my mom takes Omega XL. 4 years goes by. And my mom is that person that, like you're very, like, when you make a decision, you guys are like,
stick to it.
Yes. So my mom would not miss a day. And I would always tease her because, I didn't know. And I had read this Cochrane report years ago, and it kind of made me not feel good about omega-3s. Well, fast forward, I learned about what you and I are aware of. And I could actually test my mom. So I said, Mom, I'm going to test you and see if, you spend $90 a month. That's over $1,000 a year. You're on a fixed income. we can actually now find out if this Omega XL is working for you. And my mom, we did it. And guess what happened?
She failed. It didn't
That's
work.
right. She failed. And once, you know what's funny about that is when she failed, she still couldn't get what I was telling her. I was like, Mom, your product is not working. And that was the opportunity for us to have an educational moment.
Right.
Because many people are taking things and they don't really know what they're supposed to do anyway. So with my mom, I got to educate her and talk about all the benefits of a product that if it did work, what it could do for you. And she loved that. I said, but you're not going to be using this product anymore. She's like, what do you mean? I go, the test proved it doesn't work.
Right.
The only way I got my mom's attention is I told her, you're not going to pay $90 a month anymore. You're only going to pay $47 a month.
Well, that'll get your attention. Let's save some money and it may work. You know, that's pretty exciting.
Hey, I love it. So in the test with the Omega XL, my mom was 32-1.
Okay.
And as you know, the first number, everybody watching, you want that first number to be 3 or lower.
Right.
That means it's working. So if my mom is 32, that means that product was not working. So we get my mom on the balance oil. Now my mom is 2.7-1.
Ah, fabulous.
Which proves that the product works.
Yay.
I mean, I don't know what else to say about that. I mean,
yeah, you know, that test-based nutrition, I think is going to be more in our future than we've ever seen it before. And of course, we know that with Zinzino balance oil, and what a difference it's been making for the people that we've gotten to start on the product. But it makes such a difference because you don't know what you don't know. And you know, the last few weeks we did mention that you will do a comparison on people's supplements. If they send you the picture of the supplement on the front and the back, you will go over their supplements and let them know if it's actually something that's worthy of spending the money for. Well, even if it's worthy, if you're out of balance and you have a cell membrane rigidity, it's not working.
Amen. And
so we have to get the omega-3s fixed first before we do anything.
Yes. Well, you know, one of the questions that comes up, and you guys know, I'm getting ready to share with you the 5 things. So write these things down because they can help you for the rest of your life. Is you're becoming what we call informed. But one of the questions that I get or pushbacks that I get when we bring up fish oil or omega-3 supplements, before they understand, like my mom, they'll say, well, why is it sold? They're sold everywhere. You hear about it on TV. The doctors recommend it. I mean, and I go, you're right. You go to Whole Foods, you go to Amazon, you go to a supplement store, and they're selling what they believe is the best omega-3 supplement in the world. Everybody, and then people go, I buy mine, it comes from Alaska. Mine comes from Canada. I buy one that comes off, right? It's like, so people want to believe that they're taking one that's good. So I'm going to share with you guys the 5 reasons, because we already know if you take the test, you can find out. You can, we can cut right through it. But I'm going to share with you the 5 main reasons why by the time you buy a product on the shelf, there's a fish oil, whether it's an oil, a supplement, a gel, why it's not working. Okay, you ready for that?
I'm ready.
All right.
I'm writing down. Okay.
So the number one, okay, in no order, and this is good for your knowledge and all of our friends and partners and people and customers who are listening in. When the product, the omega-3 supplement, gets exposure to oxygen, this is the biggest culprit, right? The moment the oil is exposed to air, oxidation begins. That's not a good thing. Oxidation leads to it becoming rancid. It causes what they call a gradual breakdown into lipid peroxides. That just means damaged fats. So every time you open up the bottle, it's exposed to oxygen, right?
Right.
Oxygen goes inside. The longer it sits on that shelf, the longer it was on that truck, finally it got delivered, it's being exposed more and more to oxygen. Soft gels are not perfectly airtight either.
Right.
Oh, it's in a gel. No. Manufacturing processes is where the biggest exposure happens. And so that means, let's say they take the oil out of the fish, it's exposed to oxygen at this point. What do? How do they process it? How do they keep it where it doesn't go rancid? Because oxygen is everywhere. We're breathing it right now.
Yep.
So there needs to be a process that reduces how much exposure to oxygen that product gets. Because once it gets that oxygen, it starts changing. And that means it doesn't work once it gets inside of our body. Any questions on that part?
No, but that's great. That kind of allows us to see why some of these products are not working.
Yeah. I mean, you don't, like, a lot of people will go to Whole Foods or go to some store and they'll buy an omega-3 because some young kid said, "Oh, this is the one." That thing could have been on the shelf for a year.
Yeah.
You don't think it's oxidized? I mean, okay. Number two. There's heat during the processing and storage of that supplement. So what happens, omega-3s are often heated during the extraction. They're processed for purification because you got to get rid of all the stuff that we don't want.
Right.
And that's that's routine practice. That's called good manufacturing practices. That's part of the deal. Then they're stored or they're shipped into warm conditions. So if you're in an extremely hot area or during the heated parts of summer, right? If you, let's say, and I'm not saying they do this, but I know how hot it can get in Memphis, Tennessee. Imagine that you're extracting the oil from the fish, let's say it's sardines. Now you got to take it through a process. It's being exposed to oxygen, and the heat, if it's not the oxygen, it's the heat,
right,
is going to cause it to go rancid.
Well, and a lot of products have that challenge. We have that challenge with products during the summertime. Living in Vegas, I ship a lot of products, and in the summertime, I'll have customers that'll buy 3 months worth of product because they don't want to keep exposing it to more heat as they're shipping it. They'll buy it in bulk so that they can store it in a cool, dry place and feel like they're okay.
Yes. I don't know if you heard me share this the other day, but when I have extra bottles of balanced oil, I keep them in my freezer.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like when I buy extra using my Zeno Cash,
right.
And I buy them all the time because sometimes people will want one or whatever. As soon as I get it, I put it in the freezer.
Wow, that's great to know.
Yeah. It doesn't damage it. It stops it. As far as from oxidation, it makes it where it's going to last longer. It defrosts extremely quick. That's a win-win. Everybody would benefit from doing that.
That's great. All right, we're going to do that.
So, because remember, heat accelerates oxidation. And also when a bottle is sitting in a warehouse or a delivery truck,
right,
at that point, it's already compromised.
Right.
So, and we know this, and this is like, so let's go back to the test. Because someone would say, well, you're recommending, balanced oil, it comes all the way from Norway, or it travels all over this. And I said, okay, here are my words. I hear you, but we know that it works because there's a test. So they got the whole science down from the time they extract it from the fish to the time it's in that bottle and what they add to it to make it work. And the reason why all these other companies are just selling you guys a lie is because they're dealing with the things that I'm sharing with you, which we've done too. Oxygen, heat. You ready for number 3?
Yes, let's do it.
Number 3, light exposure, especially UV light. So light acts like a catalyst, right? So let's say you have a clear bottle, because a lot of people say, why is your bottle in black? And I go, well, that's actually a good thing, because if it was clear, light can cause it to go rancid also. So clear bottles is a big problem. Store shelves, right? When they put it in a store and it just sits out in the light, that's a problem. Sunlight during transport on the truck, that's even worse. So light speeds up how fast the oxidative damage gets in.
Yeah.
And that happens if you have light, even if you reduce the oxygen, Renee, the light speeds up and creates the damage, the oxidative damage from light.
Why we store everything in dark cupboards,
Amen. That's a
you
smart
know,
thing. Yep.
and now I'm going to, make some space in the freezer. That's a great idea.
Oh, soon as I have like probably 4 bottles in the freezer, and when if somebody wants one or they need one, they want to buy one from me, then I just take it out, put it in the package, and mail it. By the time they get it, it's gonna defrost.
That's great. That's probably
Yeah.
good for the shipping process too.
Yeah, I mean it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. You ready for number 4?
Yep.
Number
Number
4,
4.
everybody. Number 4. Okay, time, shelf life, reality. So even if everything is going well, omega-3 oils do degrade over time. And many products sit on the shelves for months. So I'll talk to someone, they'll go, yeah, I bought a kit and I got like all these bottles of balanced oil and they just sit. Well, even balanced oil, as good as it is, if you just buy it and it just sits and months go by, then that means that you've likely reduced the efficacy, the potency of what was once available in that bottle. So the way I look at it is I always think if I buy something, it's already partially oxidized. The expiration date does not mean optimal quality. So I tell people when you get your bottle with balanced oil or any oil, I would say use it within 45 days. That's my recommendation. Don't get it and just sit on it.
Got it.
If you think you're going to sit on it, put it in the freezer. Okay, so now we have that one, right?
Right.
You ready for number 5?
I'm ready.
Actually, you know what? I hope everybody that's on our team that shares the good news about balanced oil and the balance test, they would benefit from knowing what we're covering.
Absolutely.
Okay, so here's number 5. Lack of protective compounds. And this is the game changer. This is where most supplements fail. So most fish oils, what happens is they strip out the natural antioxidants during purification. So inside of fish, like inside of people, we have antioxidants, right? We talked about glutathione. You can consume antioxidants like lycopene that you get from tomatoes or vitamin C, vitamin E, right? You can consume those antioxidants. Well, in the fish, they have antioxidants. But once the fish is dead and they start to strip the fish to get the oil, then those antioxidants are gone. And without the antioxidants, you don't have the protection of the oxidation. So, and they don't bring them back.
Okay, so what do we do with balance oil to make a difference?
Look at you go. See, everybody, listen. Like Renee's like, let's get to it.
I'm excited. This is a great topic.
Because what happens when you extract it, you're left with a very fragile oil. It has no defense. Like the antioxidants is the only defense it has. So without defense, it ages, it goes rancid fast. What Zenzino did when they created balance oil, they knew that they wanted to make it as much like a real fish naturally, like what you would get from a real fish. So in order to do that, they knew that antioxidants need to be present. And so they got polyphenols involved, which the almost half of what's in a bottle is polyphenols. So the polyphenols act like an antioxidant and they help produce more antioxidants so you have protection so it doesn't go rancid. And other companies don't do that. And what Zenzino discovered, and actually it was discovered before Zenzino bought it, because there was a company called Bioactive. They had already spent years working on this, and Zenzino as a company ended up buying them and their patents, and we now know it as balance oil.
Okay.
But this was being worked on for years, right? So I think in 2012, Zenzino as a company got distribution rights. 2014, they purchased the company, and now they've been making available. And so here we are, like around 12 years later, and now the world is starting to get the benefits of it.
Yes.
And so the polyphenols get added, and that makes all the difference, because then you don't see the oil as fragile and it doesn't turn rancid as fast.
Well, let me ask you a question. The
Mhm.
polyphenols, when they're added to a product, are they listed in the ingredients as polyphenols?
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I was mentioning this morning, I walked into my friend's bathroom and she had a box of our balance oil capsules and a package of an omega-3 product next to it that had, you know, flavors added to it or whatever that I guess she was using. As I don't know which one she's using currently, but I did look at the package, and of course the package has no polyphenols in it. So I thought, well, that's kind of defeating the purpose. We know it's not going to have the same effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to protect your cells, you know. So if, as long as you know, if you turn over what you're using now and it doesn't have polyphenols in it, you know you're using the wrong stuff.
Right. And now what's interesting about this is that I tested someone the other day who was using some product, but the product had green tea extract in it. Well, green tea extract it has polyphenols. And so that omega that they were using with the green tea extract, it was better than what I see with most products. Then I had a lady who tested 4.1 to 1. Yes. And I have a meeting with her tomorrow because I need her to send me pictures of this product that she's taking. But I asked her, how often are you eating fish?
Right.
Because if a person said, I'm going to eat fish every day and twice on at least one day, they have a good chance of being imbalanced without taking the supplement.
Right.
But as you know, most people aren't, they're
Eating
not.
that much fish.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll come back to you once I have my meeting with her. But
All right.
I was very impressed. But she is eating a lot of fish. She was
Okay.
clear. So it could be the fish and the supplement that's decent that's helping her be in that much better balance.
Well, I'm excited that we've taken the time to go over this because I think it's extremely important.
Mm-hmm.
But I also wanted to talk a little bit about metabolic health and your flexibility score.
Okay.
That we had talked a little bit earlier today. And so let's hop in on that next. And then I know we have some questions, but let's cover some of this first.
Okay, we can do that. So if anyone is interested in getting a free, let me stress that, FREE, a free metabolic flexibility score, if you go to my website at dietfreelife.com, you'll see a button that says get a free metabolic flexibility score.
Got it. Okay.
Now this score is going to go from 0 to 10. If it's 0, that means you don't have insulin resistance. If it's 0, you can eat a whole bunch of things that most people can't eat,
Okay.
and you can still lose weight. But if it's 1 to 10, that's a sign that you have some degree of insulin resistance, which means you could really benefit from learning how to eat foods and a certain, like, pair your foods a certain way and in the right proportion. So I'll give you an example as I was sharing with you earlier today.
Right.
Many people who don't have any insulin resistance and it's time for lunch, they could go get a Big Mac. A Big Mac is a little over 500 calories. It's got 45 grams of carbs, about 25, 30 grams of protein. It's actually what I call a fat burning meal. They could eat that Big Mac and lose weight. No problem. But if you have a metabolic score of 5, you're not eating that Big Mac and losing weight. Okay. And it's not that you can never have a Big Mac again, but it's looking at how your body responds metabolically to the foods that you eat. And so once you know that, it's the same as I share with you. If my cousin is allergic to shrimp and he wants to go to work without his eyes being swollen or his lips being swollen,
Right.
don't eat shrimp. Now, if he eats shrimp, that's on him. But people who accept certain things in life that is what it is, they'll go, nah, I'm not eating shrimp because I want to go to work and be presentable.
Right.
I don't want my face swelling up. And that's what happens when you know your metabolic score. It's like you go, okay, it's not that I can't have certain things, but it gives me more reassurance that I want to eat and pair foods a certain way in order to maximize, that's the key word, maximize my ability to lose weight if that's the goal. So everybody can get.
I think that's amazing.
Yes.
I think that's amazing. And you know, I've tested out my own thing with foods, and I wear a sugar meter on my arm, a Libre 3 meter on my arm every day. And it was the assistance that I needed to figure out how food was affecting me, because I can look on my phone and it's going to tell me exactly how that food I ate an hour ago or 2 hours ago has changed in my metabolism and what it's doing to my blood sugar. So it, you know, it's a game changer for me. And I think when you find out what this score is, it can make a huge difference to be able to get your body balanced in all kinds of different ways.
Yeah, because we are unique. Same as we have a unique fingerprint, we're unique. We're unique individuals. And as we mature in life, our bodies become more unique, meaning some people can eat big old bowls of cereal, Renee, and you know this.
Yes.
Right before they go to bed and wake up a pound lighter the next day. Other people look at the bowl of cereal, just look at it and feel like they're gaining weight.
So, I know, it's crazy.
So my goal has always been, let's figure out a way to meet people where they are. And we can meet them with metabolic flexibility. We can give them a score. And like any sport that anyone ever watches, if there's any sport that you watch, golf, basketball, hockey, you name it, there's usually a score.
Right.
And once you realize how the game is played, then you can maximize. And that's how I look at the metabolic flexibility score. It's like,
I love it.
It helps to like know where you are. What am I playing? What is this game? How do I improve? And so once we give them that, and we give them like all the plays, boom, all they got to do is go to work.
Well, I love it. I've got some questions in here, so let's go ahead and see if we can get some answers.
All right, everybody, let's answer some questions. Come on.
All right. So the first one is Rebecca asks, how do I know if my metabolic health is actually improving beyond just watching the scale?
That is a great, man. You guys have, I need to reach more different people. I like your people. I like Rebecca. It's like
we've got some good questions. Yes.
Great questions. Okay. So how do I know if my metabolic health is actually improving beyond just watching the scale? Great question, because improving metabolic health has nothing to do with your weight. Metabolic health involves many things, to include triglycerides, blood pressure, fasting glucose, fasting insulin, your cholesterol panel. So you're looking at all these different markers. If I have skin tags and then I don't have skin tags, that plays more of a role of your metabolic health. So, what I would recommend to you, Rebecca, when you have time, get your fasting insulin tested if you haven't already. That's just one marker, but it's a very important marker. And you can go to, same place that I know that Renee recommends, walkinlab.com. You can put in your zip code, tell them what test you want. They will recommend what is closest to you at the best price.
Yep.
And a fasting insulin test usually costs about $15 to $30.
That's fabulous.
You know what I mean? So get that tested. Do what you're doing. Eat the way you're eating, all the things you're doing. And then 3 to 4 months later, go test again. And that number should be better.
That's awesome. I love that.
That's how you know.
I love that. And you don't have to wait around for your doctor appointment 6 months
Exactly.
from now. That's why I kind of like the walkinlab.com too. It gives you more flexibility. And it's not that expensive. I found that too. So
it's great. And
I mean,
you may want to invite your doctor to go with you next time.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Angela asks, what exactly is a flexibility score and how can I improve it as I get older?
Well, the good news is that you can improve it at any age. So a metabolic flexibility score, so it goes back to 1963. There was this scientist named Dr. Randall. And what Dr. Randall did is he looked at the cells and wanted to understand what is our body using for fuel. And he noticed that we primarily burn fat, which most people get, and we also burn sugar, right? Carbs for fuel. But you primarily burn one over the other. And when a person's body is flexible, meaning you can shift from burning fat to burning carbs to burning fat, like you can shift quickly, then that's where everybody wants to be. That would be really good metabolic flexibility. But
that's awesome.
What we've discovered over the last 10, 15 years, and this is supported by Tufts University and University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, is that 90+% of the population has some degree of insulin resistance. Well, insulin resistance interferes with metabolic flexibility. So you're not primarily burning fat, you're primarily burning carbs. That's not where we want to be.
Right.
So the goal is to shift the body to where we're primarily burning fat. And you can do that based on knowing what your score is, which we put together a easy way for people to know their score.
Right.
And then eat according to your score. Right?
It makes a huge difference. The combination of the foods that you eat and that you've put together in your fat burning program are amazing. And you balance that out, it makes a huge difference.
And here's a part that for people who are new, I would say, okay, the way you combine it works like this. You ask yourself what trumps what when you make a meal. So let's say because I really like mac and cheese. That's my childhood favorite, mac and cheese. So if I'm around anybody and they have mac and cheese, I'm thinking about it. So mac and cheese is what we call a fast carb. So it has a good amount of carbs in it, a good amount of fat. If I eat that with a fatty steak, that's a setup for disaster. But if I eat the mac and cheese with a protein, like let's say chicken breast, because it doesn't have much fat, that's a combination of success based on a person whose score is not that good. So you ask yourself, what trumps what? Do I want the mac and cheese or do I prefer to have the steak? Because if I have the steak, I'm not going to do the mac and cheese. Maybe I'll just go with the baked potato, or maybe I'll just go with some broccoli. Once you learn that basic shift, that changes everything. Everything. And I would love for everybody to know this.
Well, and it's great information to have. And like I said, the discovery of that through wearing my meter made such a difference for me to figure things out that I could have. Long time ago, I learned that I could have apples, but only if I ate it with peanut butter or cheese.
Right.
And, I mean, there's just different things that you learn, and dates and nuts. The dates were high in sugar, but if I ate them with nuts, they balanced themselves out where it didn't affect my sugar. So, testing things out and finding things what works. I mean, it's just amazing, and it really can make a difference, no matter what age you are. Older you get, sure, but
Amen.
yeah, whatever age. Okay, we have another question. This one is Lisa's asking, how would you assess her metabolic flexibility in a practical way without expensive lab testing?
Well, one, I have a free way for you to do it.
Yeah.
Free, right? So literally, if you go to our website or go to
That free life.
dietfreelife.com, you'll see a button that says free metabolic score. Click on that. It's a short quiz. And then you'll get an email from me that tells you what your score is. And it also, like, I'll give you a breakdown with some recommendations. Now, if you were my client, I could look at your lab work and I could still figure out your metabolic flexibility score, but based on your clear lab work. So the
Right.
quiz is a little loose, but if I have your real lab work, I can do that for you. And you can email me at robert@dietfreelife.com and just say, hey, I want to know what my metabolic flexibility score. And not only will I do it for you and it's free, I will give you some recommendations, but I'll give you links so you can better understand what it means.
Well, you have so much great information on your website
Yeah.
too. I'm always sending people there to look up your articles and the studies that you've, done over the years that you've got on your site. And it's just a wealth of information. So it's dietfreelife.com. Make sure you get on there. And I know we have a ton more questions in here. It's
Let's go. Come on.
wonderful.
We like questions.
All
You
right,
you have a
Colleen is
smart group.
asking. I do. Colleen is asking if only, let's see. Oh no, Michelle. Wait. I got 3 in here. Michelle is asking if my metabolism adapts over time, how do we prevent plateaus before they happen? Oh, that's a good question.
Okay, so let's ask that question one more time.
Okay. If my metabolism adapts over time,
Adapt.
how do we prevent plateaus before they happen?
See, all right. So here's, like, if I was talking to you as a coach, Renee, her perception of what metabolism is not metabolism. So most people think metabolism has everything to do with the rate of how we burn calories. That's called your basal metabolic rate.
Okay.
Right. So we just stuck you in a chair and you couldn't move. We could measure how many calories you burn throughout the day. And then if you look at how many calories you burn throughout the day, we could look at your energy expenditure based on your activity, movement, etc. Many people think that's your metabolism. Metabolism literally is when you consume food, how efficient is your body at taking the food you eat and converting it into energy. There is no test for that.
Gotcha.
Now, what I would share with, who was that again? The person that was on there with the question.
That was Michelle.
That was Michelle. Is that, Michelle, you want to optimize cellular health so that you're like, so around every cell, there's a membrane. And this is where Renee wakes up. That membrane is selective and restrictive or protective. So it plays a huge role on what nutrients and oxygen get inside of the cell and what can leave the cell. You want to make sure that you have a healthy cell membrane. And the only way that we know of that you could easily do that is contact Renee, because there's a test you can get called the balance test. You can do this test at home and it will tell you exactly what your cell membrane health is. Is it fluid, which is what we want, or is it rigid? And if it's rigid, that complicates and compromises your metabolism. So you can't optimize your metabolism if you have a poor cell membrane fluidity.
Super. I love this. Love this.
Yeah.
Love this. Okay, and more questions. Gee whiz. Okay,
And did
Cheryl
I
is
answer Michelle's question? I
you
saw.
did. You did.
Okay.
Yeah. Cheryl is asking what patterns in my eating or energy levels would signal poor fuel switching?
Mm.
Hmm.
There's patterns. So asking what patterns in my eating
Eating or
or
energy
energy
levels
levels.
would
Okay.
signal poor fuel switching. So we were
Well,
talking about carbs and we were talking about how
mhm.
we react to the different foods.
Well, um, a lot of it. So when you do the metabolic test, you'll notice that we look at things like what's your body fat. So the more body fat you have, the thing that's associated with that is that you don't switch easily. If you have a chronic health condition you're living with, that can interfere with your body's ability to switch from burning fat to burning carbs also.
Right.
So when you reduce your waistline, you reduce your body fat, right? You get more sleep, you start to see improvements with your body's ability to switch from burning fat to burning carbs. So you improve your metabolic flexibility score.
Okay.
So where I'm at right now and what I'm excited about is that I had a lady about 6 months ago, her metabolic flexibility score was 9. The highest it can be is 10. Okay, so that means she has a high level degree of insulin resistance, right? This same woman now is at a 3.
Oh, love it.
Yeah, and she's on her way to a 0. Sandy, who you know, her
Yes.
metabolic flexibility score was at a 6. Now she's literally at a 0. She no longer has insulin resistance, and the only main thing, and she's a great testimonial because this is so true. As she got her cell membrane fluidity better, right? She got on the balance oil, she stayed consistent. We did all her testing. Her insulin resistance disappeared. And insulin resistance, that is the ability for your hormone insulin to signal and communicate to the cell. Well, if that membrane is gummed up, then you have resistance. So when she got to the place where hers wasn't gummed up, all of a sudden she's got good cell membrane fluidity, no insulin resistance, and the weight has just come off.
Ah, that's so awesome.
I was just with Sandy. Sandy was almost 300 pounds. The other day, she messaged me because she came back from her trip. We had a coach retreat. She lost 2 pounds traveling. She's
Wow.
157 pounds.
Oh, that's fabulous.
I mean, hello.
Half her body weight. That's amazing.
And she's off her blood pressure medication after 30 something years.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that was my first medicine to go, was the blood pressure medicine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Colleen has another question. She's asking, if I only fix one thing in my diet, what gives me the biggest return and why?
Man, that's an interesting question. If I only fix one thing, well, because it all depends on you don't know the person.
Right.
So I'm just going to generalize, and this doesn't mean for everybody. But
Okay.
she's asking me a question for everybody, right? And those are like tough questions because there's no like one thing, like Shirley
Right.
would say in City Slickers. I would say, because it's in my head right now, because I'm writing something on ceramides, which is a big part of inflammation in the body. And it has me looking at saturated fat and protein, different things. I would say if you use any oils, cook with extra virgin olive oil.
So stay away from the terrible 10.
Stay away from your seed oils. I would even say, like, if there was one thing, and I'm not saying, because I do buy grass-fed butter.
Yeah.
But if a person went the extra mile, I would say only cook with, grass-fed butter when you absolutely have to. Other than that, only use extra virgin olive oil.
Gotcha. All
I
right.
think that is like, if there was one thing, that would be the one thing.
Well, she added to that question. She said, if I hit my calories, but I'm eating low quality food, what's the real downside?
Oh, that's a huge downside. so so I would say to Colleen, see, I'm not a believer in calories. However, they do count. But I would be willing to bet that Colleen would agree to this. And I would like to know if you agree to this. If you eat 100 calories of jelly beans, is that the same effect on your body if you eat 100 calories of broccoli?
Nope.
So that right there tells us that it can't just be about calories.
Right.
It has more to do with the hormonal response to food, with a specific focus on insulin. And so if you look at insulin and the response based on the foods that I eat, the further the food is from nature, the bigger the insulin response, which is the driver for a lot of the health problems that people have. So with what she's saying, if I hit my calories but I have low quality food, then you're creating more metabolic problems. Because in the background, we're seeing this with GLP-1 drugs.
Right.
So if someone's doing like Wegovy to lose weight, yes, they're losing weight because they're not eating much, but their insulin is still elevated. So the metabolic part never improved, even though they lost the weight. So when they get off the drug, part of that is you see rapid weight gain and you see metabolic health conditions worsen, triglycerides, blood pressure, you name it. So you want to be thinking about the backside of it, which is metabolic health, as you improve your health. I hope that makes sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
We've got a lot of great questions in here today.
Man,
Michelle
can
has
we get
another
these
one.
people on Tuesday night? Like, what's
I'm serious. We need to have them join us for sure. Michelle asks, improving her metabolism, what has the highest leverage? Diet composition, exercise, or sleep?
nutrition? Well, actually, no, that's a tough one. Man, see, they like to ask, like, everybody's looking for, like, what is the number one? There's so many.
The fastest, easiest way to make it happen. They're looking for the shortcuts.
Well, you know what? Hey, sleep is extremely important. Like, I think it's very important for so many reasons as it pertains to our health, our ability to lose weight. So you can't count. I mean, sleep you got to work on. Some of us could sleep, but we're stressed or whatever. Something's blocking our sleep. But you can't. I would never. It would be irresponsible for me to just pick one thing.
Okay.
So sleep is very important. Your exercise. If I had to pick between exercise and nutrition, if you could only improve one of them, I would say improve your nutrition.
Nutrition.
And
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Well, I did a fun little experiment probably about 20 years ago. What we did is I looked at people who hired a personal trainer, and they were paying on average about $400 a month. And then I looked at people who went to Weight Watchers but didn't do any exercise. They're paying about $40 a month. Who do you think lost the most weight in 12 weeks? The person who got a
personal trainer?
Nope.
Really? That's interesting. I lectured for Weight Watchers for 5 years.
100%. If you did Weight Watchers, you're guaranteed to lose weight compared to someone who only hired a personal trainer.
That makes sense. If you think about it, that makes sense because you're on a scheduled specific program. Even though they have tailored it now where they've made it where you can eat anything. They have points for everything and you can eat anything. Well, it has changed. But I was in the olden days where, you ate liver once a week and, I mean, it was pretty strict way back when, but I lost 200 pounds in a year on Weight Watchers.
Yeah, but go back to what you experienced, that you had focus on nutrition.
Right. True.
So Weight Watchers focus on nutrition, personal trainer works on the training. So people keep eating the way they're eating, and they're training, they're not losing weight. But the people who put all their energy into their nutrition, they're always going to lose weight.
I love
Always.
it. I
Yep.
love it.
Guaranteed.
Okay. Colleen says, thank you. That makes so much sense. And let's see if we missed anybody else in here. Oh, Cheryl had another follow up. Which of those patterns are most predictive versus just loosely associated?
Okay. Do you know what she's referring to?
No.
Okay. Explain yourself, Cheryl. Like,
Cheryl, can you kind of expand on that a little bit?
yeah, what patterns?
Maybe over the diet, composition, exercise, and sleep we were just speaking of, which we just answered that. So, which are the most predictive versus loosely associated?
Yeah, because she may be referring to asking what patterns of eating, like eat 3 meals, eat every 3 hours, skip breakfast, right? Because those, I mean, I would assume that would be part of patterns.
Yeah,
Maybe.
true. Well, this is really exciting today. And you know what? We appreciate everybody's input so much. We've got Lynn here, and we've got Sandy here, and we've got Colleen and Cheryl and Michelle. And
All right, we had Sandy was on here.
Yeah, Sandy was on here too.
Outstanding. And Lynn, look at Lynn from Maui. She always making us feel jealous because she's enjoying. She's got that beautiful weather over there that I will get to experience very soon, by the way.
Yeah, we're going to have to do something over there for sure. So
Amen.
we're excited about that. But I want to thank you, Robert, today for stepping on and helping us get some answers. You know, the one thing about providing these calls and these webinars and trainings for people is if we can answer people's questions and we can help them get the results that they want. And thank you for making the information so available at dietfreelife.com that people can go on there and get their flexibility score and you know, find all these things, because you're just such a wealth of information with all your years of 31 years of experience and coaching, and you're on a lot of nutritional boards, and you have so many things that back it all up. And I really appreciate your willingness to share that with all of us.
Well, thank you very much. And it's always a pleasure to be here. And again, we send speedy recovery to Veronica.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see her. Okay. We'll see you all soon. Thank you so much for being here today, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody.